As you think, so shall you become. These are the words of Bruce Lee, highlighting just how important our thoughts are. All actions are governed by our thoughts. We always think first before we act, at least for most of us. No matter what it is we do, whether good or bad, our thoughts lay the groundwork for these actions. So, if your thoughts are always revolving around success, your actions will always be geared toward achieving that success. But on the flip side, if your thoughts are always negative and self-deprecating, your actions will reflect this process. So, how do you train your mind and filter out the negative thoughts to focus on the positives? Well, in this video, we'll be discussing 15 ways you can train your mind and master constructive, positive thinking. Welcome to ALUX. Number 1. Meditation. Now, you know how much we love meditation. We've all heard about it in some way or another, but we tend to not fully understand just how effective it is. When was the last time you meditated? When was the last time you tried to purge your mind of the negatives and the noise? A long time ago? Well, you're due for an extended session of meditation. Meditation is the old technique for mastering control over your thoughts. Meditation suggests that a chaotic and noisy mind to produce positive thoughts and positive results. It's the same way a rioting group of people wouldn't solve problems, only make it worse. Now, to meditate, you have to be willing to control your mind by making a conscious effort to clear out the noise. A meditation session of only 10 minutes every day will slowly teach you how to learn from your negatives, control your thoughts, and use the positives to forge a better life for yourself. Which is exactly why we launched the ALUX app a few months ago. It's like a high-performance coach right in your pocket. Search for the ALUX app in the App Store or Google Play Store and start your free trial today. Number 2. Surround yourself with positivity. It's not enough to want to think positive thoughts. You have to seek inspiration for these thoughts. Take, for instance, you're preparing hard for your exams, but you find it difficult to believe you'll pass with flying colors. To tackle this problem, you have to surround yourself with other individuals who believe they will pass their exams. In no time, you'll also be infected with this optimism. This is simply going to inspire good thoughts to fill your mind. But on the flip side, associating yourself with negative-minded individuals will have the same effect on your mind, so choose your acquaintances wisely. Number 3. Forget about the past. Unless you have a time machine that nobody knows about, you can't change the past. So if you can't change it, why think about changing it? It's just old baggage that you aren't willing to let go of. You cannot change the events of the past and how it affected you, but you can certainly learn from those events and make sure they don't happen to you again in the future. Give up on the things that are beyond your control and instead pay attention to the things you actually have power to change. For every time you allow your thoughts to wander into the past, you lose the power and ability to control your thoughts. So, how do you break free from the shackles of your past? You have to make peace with it, whatever that means for you. The death of a loved one, a grave mistake that cost you your job, a failed relationship. You have to be willing to accept reality without doubts and questions, but with optimism that the future will be better and you learn from the experience. Stop allowing the past to have such a grip on you. You're stronger than that, ALUX, or it's time you started acting like it. Number 4. Learn to visualize yourself in a positive light. The human mind is fascinated by images, whether they're static or moving. Why do you think that most companies have adopted video ads for marketing, while slowly ignoring the conventional approaches of text and audio? We remember images more than anything else, and it sticks right at the top of our minds for as long as possible. Now, let's try the same experiment with you. Close your eyes and try to visualize yourself in the next 5 years achieving all the goals you've set for yourself. Fixate on this image of yourself for a few moments and then open up your eyes. You can repeat this process as many times as you like, and before you know it, this picture of yourself becomes a motivating factor, one that pushes you to try harder at whatever it is you do, while also helping you to maintain a positive outlook toward your goals. Number 5. Encourage positivity. Being a killjoy sucks. You constantly have to see yourself become sad even after initially feeling happy from the outside. On some days, we wake up feeling gloomy and depressed, convinced the world is a hateful place governed by harsh capitalistic rulers. But on other days, we wake up feeling refreshed, glad we can see this beautiful sun and try again. On days like this, it's important that you encourage this positivity and carry it for as long as you can. Teaching your mind to stay positive will train it to gravitate toward positivity and hope, while shutting down these positive thoughts will send a message that says, "Oh, we don't want you around here." And if this happens too many times, you might just find yourself wallowing in sorrow every day of your life. So, how can you help to keep more positive even on the bad days? Well, allow yourself to see the beauty in everything. The world is a beautiful mess, if you will. You just have to be willing to look beyond the noise and negativity and focus on what really matters. Number 6. Know your triggers. Negative and positive thoughts have a lot in common despite the glaring differences. For starters, both of these are usually triggered by something else. Happy thoughts can be a result of a good night's sleep or achieving a short-term goal. Negative thoughts, on the other hand, can be triggered by boredom or visiting a place that fills you with fear or anxiety, even a stupid social media post. Negative thoughts can also be triggered by familiar situations, that is, situations that affected you negatively in the past. Your job is to locate these negative situations and experiences and make a conscious effort to not only avoid being in them, but understand your emotional state well enough to navigate your way through when a trigger does occur. You should also learn to encourage triggers that direct your mind toward positive thoughts, as this will help you to gain more mastery over your own mind. Number 7. Utilize the healing power of deep breaths. The healing powers of deep breathing might prove weak against a terminal illness, but it remains one of the best ways to tame your mind. Our minds are so complex, and occasionally things get kinda out of hand. Yeah, it happens sometimes, but what if getting out of hand happens way too often in your mind? Well, it's a sign your mind needs to be put back in check. Deep breathing is one of the most effective ways to tame your thoughts right on the spot, right in the heat of the moment. As soon as you realize that things are going sideways, tell yourself to stop and cool down. Find a spot and take 8 to 10 deep breaths. Now, while you do this exercise, try not to think about anything. Allow nothing to pass through your mind if you can, and repeat this for the next 60 to 90 seconds. You should also know that deep breathing doesn't send the bad thoughts away. Instead, it only helps your mind click the refresh button and allows you to restart the thinking process with a different mindset. Pretty badass, right? Number 8. Listen to your body. How do you expect to master your mind if you don't listen to your body? Your body and mind are connected in unique ways, and failing to listen to either one of these will have an effect on the other. If your body is in pain, your mind will also be in a state of distress. Similarly, if your mind is in a dark place, this negativity will soon begin to reflect on your physical self. Don't ever ignore the signs from your body. Always pay close attention to every stomach rumble, headache, or aching limb. Because, it could be the beginning of an illness, or just a body reacting to a thought the mind is feeding it. Your body also acts as a guidance system to measure the extent of your thoughts. For example, if you can't get out of bed because you're too sad, this suggests that negative thoughts have taken over the entirety of your being, and it'll only go down from here unless you take charge of the situation and intervene. Number 9. Use affirmations. In the critically acclaimed movie 3 Idiots, we learn something pretty interesting about the mind. It can be tricked. When things go wrong, these characters tell the mind all is well, telling it not to fret as things are totally under control, even though things are actually spiraling out of control. But the trick isn't to confuse the mind. The trick is to stop it from blowing up the situation. If your mind is calm in a tense situation, you're more likely to make better and smarter decisions. And how do you keep your mind under control? Well, the secret is to use words of affirmation. Fortunately, words of affirmation are useful in all kinds of situations. They're a reminder that you are in charge of your mind, and it would believe what you want it to. For starters, you could surround yourself with quotes and daily mantras, and in no time you'll come to understand and believe these affirmations. Number 10. Avoid negative people. Do you think a superhero would ever fly into the sky if they lived amongst people who didn't believe they could do it? Of course not. Our minds are largely influenced by the people that we associate ourselves with. If you constantly have to deal with negativity in your circle, it's only a matter of time before your mind starts to thrive on this negativity. Your mind feeds off the energy it senses around it, so why allow it to feed on the dark side? Surround yourself with people who share your positivity, and your mind will be so glad you did. Number 11. Read books. Remember when we said the mind is a complex subject? Well, there are tons of books available to help you understand the workings of your mind better. In the book, The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment, the author Eckhart Tolle writes, "Thinking is only a small aspect of consciousness. Thought cannot exist without consciousness, but consciousness does not need thought." Sounds pretty interesting, right? Your mind is capable of so much more, and the knowledge to unlock these endless possibilities can be found in books. Number 12. Train your memory muscle. Humans naturally have an interesting ability to retain tons of information, but thanks to technology, we now have to digest more information than ever, which in turn has affected how much information we can retain. In fact, a recent study showed that millennials are much more forgetful than the older generation, and this can be blamed on our heavy use of technology. And look, we can blame technology all we want, or we can devise inventive ways to keep your memory sharp. Visualization is a common cognitive trick to train your memory, and if you do this with other proven cognitive exercises, your important memories will be preserved forever. Number 13. Let your mind wander when it wants to. Daydreaming is quite a fun activity. Your body could be stuck at a boring lecture, while your mind could be on a trip to Bali. But let's forget about the fun for a minute. Allowing your mind to wander has also been proven to boost creativity and help you to become smarter. Allowing your mind to wander has also been proven to boost creativity and help you become smarter. Mastering your mind requires giving it a considerable level of freedom, and knowing when to pull the plug on this freedom and get to work is just as important. Number 14. Don't suppress emotions. While it's important that we always be realistic and rational in our thoughts and try to focus on the positives more than the negatives, this in no way means that you should ignore or suppress your emotions. Instead, allow yourself to feel your emotions and understand how your mind plays a role in these processes. When you come to terms with the severity of your emotions, your mind will help you to understand why you feel this way and how you can manage these emotions in simple and healthy steps. Overall, when you master your mind, you master your emotions. And on that note, number 15, accept the negative thoughts. Now, I know what you're thinking. This kind of contradicts almost everything the video suggests, but that's not quite true. It's totally natural for humans to run from negative thoughts, but sometimes the best way to deal with these thoughts is to just confront them. Pushing away negative thoughts over and over again will only make the thoughts even more intense, and it'll nag at your mind for an even longer period of time. So, pro tip, do the exact opposite. Face your negative thoughts. You'll realize it gives you an opportunity to understand why the thought won't go away. And if you've got the why down, you're one step closer to banishing that thought altogether. Whew, that was quite a ride, right? Do you think you can master these mind tricks to keep your mind in control? Or have you tried any of these in the past? We'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments section. And if you waited until the end of the video, you know there's a bonus coming. Number 16, give yourself time. Look, A-Luxer, becoming a master of your mind, it's not going to happen in just a couple of days. It's an endless process that will span across months and years. But as you read and understand your mind, it'll become a lot easier along the way. And because we here at A-Lux are so dedicated to personal growth and self-discovery, we've created the ultimate course to help you become the master of your life and well-being. It's called Mind Mastery, and it's full of guided meditations for entrepreneurs and high achievers that will help you level up your life like none other. You can sign up today at courses.alux.com with a 60-day money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied, but we have a feeling you're gonna love it. All right, A-Luxer, there you have it. Thanks for spending some time with us today. We are so glad you did. If you found value in today's video, please give us a like, hit that bell icon to never miss an upload, and don't forget to subscribe.